Good evening, everybody, from Madison Square Garden. Al Troutwig here. Rangers and Hurricanes coming up right here on MSG. Meanwhile, the Islanders and Avalanche go at it on MSG Plus, and the Knicks have sent Clay Anthony early to the Westchester Knicks, and they are in action tonight on MSG2. This is New York Rangers hockey. The New York Rangers have hit a tough time, losing 3 in a row, but there is a lot of history on their side as they get set to face the Carolina Hurricanes. Overall, the Rangers have won 17 of the last 18 games and 10 straight at the Garden. Meanwhile, Carolina has won only 2 of their last 9 games. But history doesn't score goals or make saves, so the Rangers will have to earn the chance to celebrate like this on home ice in the big city. The New York Rangers are presented by Chase, and we welcome you back to our coverage of the New York Rangers from Madison Square Garden in New York. Tonight, under the iconic ceiling of the world's most famous arena, it is the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Good evening, everybody. I'm Al Troutwig in the Visa Game Night studio. It's not just 1 or 2 players who are underperforming. In these games that are losses, you can see so many instances where the Rangers can execute a better game plan. And you know that because that's the way they had been playing before this started happening. Meanwhile, logic also says, with 17 out of 18 being won by the Rangers, that the Rangers win this game tonight, though nothing is guaranteed. For more, let's go to Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti. Sam?
Thanks, Al. Good evening, everyone. And as far as the Rangers players and coaches are concerned, they want to stop this losing streak right now. No more.
They were so much better to be around during their 9-game winning streak.
You're right.
Everybody was in a good mood. It didn't matter who. But, you know, that's the nature of this team. They've been to a Stanley Cup final, most of these players. They know how to win. They know they're not playing well, so they're unhappy about that. And, you know, just talking to the players this morning, I think we're going to see a different team in this game.
Injuries bring changes. Derek Stepan is out 4 to 6 weeks with broken ribs. That means line changes for the Rangers. Changes in roles for different players. Kevin Hayes moves up. Oscar Lindberg moves up. Different line mates for those 2 centers. Very important roles.
Well, and the other thing is this. When your team's not playing well, a lot of times coaches will go back to the basics and say, okay, let's start playing better defensive hockey first, and then we'll concentrate on the offense. So what you can see with these lines is that they've tried to put together lines with at least 1 real solid defensive player on each of these lines. So they're starting there. They want to be better in their own zone. They want to make better decisions with the puck. They've been talking about it for a long time, Sam, so that's where they're starting tonight.
From day 1 of this season, Oscar Lindberg has proven he belongs in the NHL. Got off to a great start and then has been solid ever since. He will play a very important role with Derek Stepan out.
Well, there's so many great players in the game now. You just watch these games from around the league, and there's some wonderful young players. He's one of them. He's 4th in the scoring for rookies in the league, tied for 3rd in scoring for the Rangers. And maybe one of the big surprises is how physical this kid has played. He got stronger in the offseason, and now he's back playing center. You just see his ability to make plays like this, like he did against Boston. That's a wonderful play. And his ability to shoot the puck also. So he's back at center now where I think he's most comfortable. And he's a player that I think we're only going to see him get better as time goes on.
Carolina Hurricanes are 7th in the Metropolitan Division. They struggle to score, but they're building something. Our Land Rover scouting report is brought to you by your local tri-state area Land Rover retailers. This team is building a solid core of young defense. Justin Falk is the leader. He's only 23. Brett Pesce is 21. Noah Hannafin is 18. They have a big, bright future.
Oh, they really do. And there's another one in that just got called up. He's 20 years old also. So this is a team that really relies on those young defense. But make no mistake, this guy, Justin Falk, boy, can he shoot the puck. He has 8 goals on the season. All 8 are on the power play, but he can skate. He plays big minutes. He's learning to play against the top players. And again, just 23 years of age. He played on Team USA a couple of years ago, so he's one of the top young defensemen in the game.
And you know, when you play the Carolina Hurricanes, the Stahl brothers are in town, and they can still do a lot of damage. Jordan Stahl, outstanding face-off man, dangerous around the net. The captain, Eric Stahl, has always been a big scorer. For the Rangers, Mark Stahl has to shut them down. We are back at Madison Square Garden, beautifully lit up as we get set for the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes' second meeting of the season. Closed captioning is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Let's check out our Audi goaltending matchup, and it starts with Henrik Lundqvist. He has won 8 straight here at Madison Square Garden over the Carolina Hurricanes. You see his season record at 12-5-2. And the outstanding save percentage of .936, and one of those shutouts against the Carolina Hurricanes. There is Cam Ward, 7-7-3. When he's on, he's one of the top goalies in the league. Sometimes he's a little up and down.
Well, those numbers dictate that he's been up and down, but he does have a young defense in front of him. But he's been injury-free for the most part this season. He's had injuries the past couple of years, I think, that have slowed him down. And as he said this morning, he doesn't know what's going to happen. He'll be an unrestricted free agent, and they haven't really talked contract as of yet. And for the Rangers, Dan Boyle back in the lineup.
Paired with Mark Stahl, and we are underway. Rangers shut out the Hurricanes 3 weeks ago here at the Garden 3-0. So the lineups coming in at the top of your screen. They're brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Last game for Carolina was a loss in Buffalo, 4-1. They have alternated wins and losses in the last 4 games. They've won only 2 of their last 9.
They have trouble scoring, huh, Sam?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a low-scoring team. That game in Buffalo, they were great in the first period. They had 18 shots, 18-5 in shots, and they were losing 1-0 after 1.
And they're in games. They've played 5 overtime games in the last 10. They've lost 4 of those. Alain Vigneault, he's got to juggle things around and find the right combination to show.
Well, he's got such a positive attitude, though, about and trust with this group. He knows they're not playing well, so they continue to address different areas of their game without the puck, with the puck, defensively. When to not try to make a perfect play, which is sometimes their issue at the offensive blue line.
McDonough and Klein on defense, Brassard, Nash, and Zuccarello up front for the Rangers. Zuccarello has been outstanding again. And a penalty drawn by Nash. Good job by Rick Nash. Kept the legs moving, drew a penalty. Rangers get an early power play.
Yeah, Pesce said something to the referee, and the referee just followed him right over to the dot. They don't like young players commenting, and there's the penalty as Nash went down. And you see Pesce, 54, says something to the official. He's got a group here tonight, about 30 people,
right.
Friends and family.
Fred Pesce from Tarrytown, New York. Rangers early power play. This power play brought to you by Volkswagen. Pesce for tripping at 104. Face-off win. Quick shot score! Matt Zuccarello! It's a power play goal! Just like that, it's 1-0 Rangers.
Now, the Rangers are not the best face-off team in the league. Carolina is. And so you would expect problems in this game. But they end up winning the face-off, get it right back, and just shoot the puck. Draw those players. There were 4 players in line with that shot. Zuccarello just fires it, gets through everybody. And Ward didn't see it. Over the left shoulder that quickly, and the Rangers lead at 1-0.
Matt Zuccarello had gone 4 games without a point, so that's a big lift because he was the Rangers' leading point man. And he continues to put up points. He now has 17 points in 17 games against Carolina. And now an 11-game point-scoring streak against Carolina. Oscar Lindberg back for the puck. Rangers capitalize quickly. Save made by Lundqvist on a stuff-in try by Elias Lindholm. The puck sent all the way down. Cam Ward fired it, hit his own man. Jacob Slavin. Slavin is that other young defenseman you talked about, Joe. Another 21-year-old defenseman that they have high hopes for. Yandel back for the puck.
So the total age of Slavin and his defense partner Hannafin is 39. Dan Boyle's 39.
That puck was knocked away from J.T. Miller, but offside. Still in the zone was Andre Nestrasil. Zuccarello with his 11th. Boyle and Brassard the assist.
Well, Brassard, who's been good on faceoffs this year, it's a tie, but Boyle comes in and knocks the puck back. And that allowed Zuccarello to just skate into it and take the shot. So Dan Boyle back in the lineup does a good job helping out on the faceoff, and that leads to the Rangers' first goal.
Matt Zuccarello leading the Rangers with 11 goals and 22 points. That's his second power play goal of the season. It came at 1:09, 5 seconds after the penalty was called. Fired in. Lundqvist sends it around the board, so the Rangers quickly end that scoring drought after being shut out Saturday afternoon by the Flyers. Jay McClement goes down on a body block from Jarrett Stoll. The puck out to Dan Boyle. Brings it down for Dominic Moore. Stoll, Moore, and Edom the line for the Rangers with Boyle and Mark Stahl. Mark Stahl hustles back for the puck. Unable to move it. Just off the bench, Derek Brassard. Tried to hit Zuccarello. Nash goes to Zuccarello. Open man, Brassard. Shot it wide. Big slap shot went wide. Keep in. Good keep in by McDonough. Played by Justin Falk ahead to Victor Rask. And taken away by Nash. Goes to the net and it's pumped away. Looked like Ron Hainsey made the defensive.
Real good defensive play. Boy, the Rangers have been strong on the puck, quick on the puck. They're causing all kinds of turnovers in the Carolina zone.
Puck kept in by Justin Falk. Rangers starting play tonight. And the Rangers turn the puck over in their own zone. Rask with a shot that's deflected away. Rangers starting play tonight, second in the Metropolitan Division, 1 point behind the first place Washington Capitals. Rangers third in the Eastern Conference. Montreal is number 1. And the Rangers fourth in the NHL. And the Let's Go Rangers chant up from the crowd. Kreider playing it across to Oscar Lindberg. Lindberg, Kreider, and Foss the line on for the Rangers. Ward plays it off the boards to Slavin. Riley Nash able to carry for Carolina. Nash surrounded by Rangers. That's something that the coaches wanted. Players going to the puck.
Yeah, and especially, Sam, protecting the middle of the ice, and that's where that one happened.
On the board, Cam Ward there to play it. He handles the puck well. Ron Hainsey, the veteran defenseman, under pressure. Able to move away from Kevin Hayes and dumps it into the Rangers zone. Back forward, Mark Stahl. Jordan Stahl is on, number 11 for Carolina. Mark's younger brother. Dan Boyle with the intercept and the lead for Kevin Hayes. Hayes looks toward the net. Hainsey again with a good play. Stahlberg's shot was blocked by Jordan Stahl, who's got the puck and able to fire it out. Brought across by Andre Nestrasil, number 15. Christian Nordstrom, number 42. Jay McClement has the puck. Mark Stahl and Dan Girardi. The quick pass from Girardi to Emerson Edom. Edom stopped. And the puck cleared out. Good play by John Michael Lyles. Lyles, number 26. Dominic Moore fires in. Rangers a 1-0 lead. 5:40 gone by here in the first. Power play goal by Matt Zuccarello. Edom had a good hit behind the net. Yandel's shot just went wide. Edom for Dominic Moore. Moore checked by Lyles. And McClement plays it off the boards. And it chipped into the Carolina bench. Stopping play. 5:57 gone by. Second year head coach is Bill Peters for the Carolina Hurricanes. Sharp guy, Joe. He seems to know what he needs and how to build this team.
Yeah, it's it's obviously a very young team. We talked about their defense, and they don't have quite enough up front. And so, as he says, you got to be positive and teach these young kids. And at the same time, he said, as a team, we got to be better from the red line in on the offensive side. It's a team that is right up there in the top 10 as far as getting shots per game. but they're not finishing very well.
Falk playing it around the boards. Good work by McDonough against Lindholm. Broussard winds it to Rick Nash. Nash against Justin Falk. Here's Zuccarello. Back to Nash for the shot. Saved by Ward. Oh, good play by the Rangers. Nash and Zuccarello combining. This is Eric Staal. Got to cut in. Lost it. Good defensive work by Zuccarello. That puck going all the way down turns into an icing on the Rangers. 6:31 gone by here in this first period. And thus far, the Rangers doing a good job limiting Carolina's chances.
Yeah, and you talk about lack of scoring. Eric Stahl's got 11 games without a goal, as Al was talking about. And the question is, what's going to happen with him? I don't think he's going to finish the year in Carolina, Sam. He's making a lot of money, $9.5 million a year. And, you know, it's going to be a while before this Carolina team is, you know, at that level, I think, where they're going to compete, or at least be a team that you think might compete for a Stanley Cup or a playoff spot. Let's put it that way.
He does have a no-move clause in his contract.
Yeah, but he told us this morning, if it's, you know, if it comes to the point where they say, hey, listen, we want to move you, then, you know, depending on the spot, I don't think he's going to get in the way of that.
Right.
So.
And yet Ron Francis told us, the general manager of the Hurricanes, told us this morning there have been talks about a new contract with Eric Staal, depending on what the numbers are. So it'll be interesting to see how that all evolves.
Yeah, I know his agent mentioned that he would expect those talks to at least get into some kind of time frame in December.
Puck deflected out of play. 6:54 gone by in this first period. Rangers have a 1-0 lead. Penalty on Dan Boyle as he lifted the puck up, batted it up over the glass. Watch it here.
Yeah, you see it coming around the top of the boards, and he just tries to go off the glass. I thought it actually hit the glass, but they say it did not. It goes over the glass. That's a penalty.
Let's go downstairs between the benches. Here's John Gino. And John, what'd you hear? What'd you see?
Saw, Sammy, was that Kevin Klein went off the ice for the Rangers. He had a problem skating back into his own zone early in this first period. It was right before the television timeout. You see him there, and he starts to just kind of hobble his way to the bench, says something to the athletic trainer, Jim Ramsey, and really struggles to get off the ice. Jim Ramsey followed him back into the Rangers dressing room, and that's where Kevin Klein and the trainer still are as this penalty kill begins for the Rangers.
No, it didn't. It seemed like he was kind of okay. You could see him kind of favor something, and then as time went on, he just seemed to get more and more pain.
Well, that would be another huge loss. Power play for Carolina, and they have struggled on the power play. Second fewest power play goals scored this season, 10. They're 0 for 8 over the last 3 games and 2 for 19 over the last 6.
And that all adds up to 30th in the National Hockey League in power play percentage.
Rangers are 6th in the penalty kill in the NHL. Nash has come on with Jarrett Stoll, Ryan McDonough, and Keith Yandel. Rangers a 1-0 lead. The puck brought across by Chris Versteeg. Here's Justin Falk. He has 8 power play goals. That's tied for the most in the league with Jamie Benn of Dallas. Jeff Skinner winds up. Fakes. His shot blocked by Yandel. In deep. Hanifin got it to Skinner. Saved by Lundqvist. The rebound. Another save. And out comes Rick Nash. Lundqvist starts off big.
Now, Skinner always seems to play well in this building, doesn't he? I mean, last time they were here, the Rangers won 3-0, but he had 5 shots on goal and hit a couple of posts.
Dumped in, Versteeg chases after. Girardi plays it up the board. Stallberg didn't clear. Lyles has it. Played ahead. Pesce is on with Lyles. Versteeg's pass blocked by Mark Stahl. Mark Stahl with Dan Girardi. Victor Stallberg. And Oscar Lindberg. Good work along the boards. Now Versteeg fires. Open man. Pesce shot it high and wide. Pesce and Hanifin, rookie defenseman, getting good time on their power play. Power play is over. Dan Boyle is back. 2 shots on goal for Carolina. Both stopped by Henrik Lundqvist. A little over 9 minutes gone by. First period. 1-0 Rangers. A power play goal and a good penalty kill. Handle off the boards to Zuccarello. Lifted ahead. Cleared out by Lyles for Nordstrom. Blocked along the boards in front of John Gianello. Good play by Ryan McDonough. Ainsey back for out around the boards. Stopped by Nash. McDonough with room. Wristed toward the net. Shot by Brassard. A save by Ward.
Damn, if he could have lifted it off the ice, he would have had a goal. He had a lot of room on that short side.
Out comes Jordan Staal. Gave it away. Good play by Yandle coming back. Turns it quickly. Into the Carolina zone they go. Slavin. Denver-born Jacob Slavin getting it out to Nestrasil, who puts it in the Ranger zone. Eric Staal against Dan Boyle. Mark Staal takes the puck. That's off the stick of Chris Kreider. Kreider able to get it out of the zone. JT Miller on. And Noah Hannafin sends it in. Fifth player chosen in the NHL draft this year, Noah Hannafin.
Boy, he got hit by JT Miller in front of the bench, and then, you know, give the kid credit. He went right back after JT Miller for a hit on the other side of the ice.
Hannafin is a native of Boston and played 1 year at Boston College last year.
I like to see that. You know, that you got to establish yourself when you're a young player in this league.
Victor Rask, who was second on the team in scoring with 7 goals. Put it on net. Yandle's got it. A little over 9 minutes to go in the first. Yandle carries out. Trying to dump it in. It was blocked by Lyles. That's something the Rangers have had trouble with the opposition standing up at the blue line. And the Rangers unable to get the puck in the offensive zone.
That's decision making is what it is. You've got to, when a play's not there, you've got to dump it in and go after it.
8:48 to go in the first. Rangers have a 1-0 lead.
Around the boards, kept in by Rick Nash, and then McDonough will just get it to the net, hits a skate, and look at all that net for Brassard. He just can't lift it over the pad. Here it is again. He shoots it low. If he gets it up a little bit higher, he's got plenty of room on the short side.
A little equipment adjustment for Derek Brassard. Big cheers you heard in the background were for New York Jets quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is in the house tonight after the Jets' big win over the Dolphins yesterday.
Yeah, 4 touchdown passes,
yes,
I
he
believe.
did. Played a terrific game.
No, you don't want to talk about that.
No, especially because the Jets are playing the Giants Sunday. Uh-oh.
You must have been in a bad mood.
Oh, that was awful. What was I yelling at the TV screen? Long shot by Jesper Fast was blocked. Jeff Skinner pressured by Chris Kreider. Lindbergh, Kreider, and Fast the line for the Rangers. Slavin fires it around the boards. Tripped by Mark Staal. Give away to Skinner, who shot it wide. Oh, Jeff Skinner getting another big chance. Justin Falk with a wrist shot blocked in front. Backhander by Skinner, a save by Lundqvist. Here's Falk. Toward the net, blocked. Good play by Mark Staal. Penalty on Oscar Lindbergh for interference.
Yeah, that's sustained pressure by the opposition. And it's a good shift, and Jeff Skinner, you can't believe it. I mean, he's just getting chance after chance. And the Rangers eventually take the penalty as Oscar Lindbergh ends up in the penalty box. There's Lindbergh trying to defend. And he eventually takes down Nash. As Nash tried to do a little spin move to get around him, off balance, down he went. Lindbergh goes off.
Lindbergh interference at 12:04. Carolina's second power play. Away with the puck is Rick Nash. Carries it. Coast to coast. Save by Ward. Good rush up the ice by Rick Nash. He is really skating.
Yeah, it's been a while since the Rangers have had a shorthanded goal, they said.
Shall we go back to last season?
All right. There he is. Boy, all kinds of speed, and the defense, you see them back right in, so he's allowed to get a pretty good shot from the top of the circle.
Face-off win by Jared Stoll. Good job by the Rangers thus far against an outstanding face-off team. Here's Noah Hannafin sending it in. By Has Lindholm. The back pass to Falk, and across it goes to Hannafin. Eric Stahl. Falk to Hannafin. To Falk. There's Lindholm. All the way across. Hannafin fires, and a whistle. A penalty upcoming on Carolina. Eric Stahl is going off. That ends the power play.
He knocked the stick out of the hands of Fost. And so Eric Stahl heads to the penalty box. That negates that. So a little 4-on-4 hockey, and then the Rangers will have a power play of 39 seconds.
Holding the stick is the call. 7:16 to go in the first.
Left side of your screen, there's the captain. You could see Fost really did a smart thing. Once he had that stick there, and as soon as he felt the arm of Eric Stahl squeeze the stick, he let go of it.
Eric Stahl holding the stick at 12:44. The team skating 4 aside. As Joe mentioned, Rangers eventually will wind up with a 39-second man advantage, provided there are no other penalties. Jordan Stahl shot it wide. Kept in by Petpesci. And Kevin Hayes skates it out. Here's Dan Boyle to JT Miller. Hayes forced back by Lyles. Drops it off for Yandel. Keith Yandel off the leg of Jordan Stahl. Stahl lost it, but gets help. And Brett Pesce takes over. Tarrytown native Brett Pesce. He played a couple of years at Irvington High School and then played with the North Jersey Avalanche. Travel hockey. He made his way toward the NHL. McDonough to Girardi and across to Kreider. Kreider looking, shooting off the chest of Cam Ward. And the puck controlled by Jeff Skinner. Rangers power play, their second of the game. Lindbergh came out of the penalty box, went to the bench. Rangers have Yandel, Boyle, Brassard, Nash, and Zuccarello. Yandel carries in. 22 seconds to go in the power play. Up the board, stopped by Dan Boyle. Brassard tried to get it across to Zuccarello. Taken away and cleared by John Michael Lyles. Lundqvist plays it all the way out to Rick Nash onside. And checked along the boards by Lyles. Jordan Stahl tried to clear it and able to carry it out. Power play is over. Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play. 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Eric Stahl. Tied up by brother Mark. Good job by Mark. And the Rangers clear it out. Under 5 minutes to go in the first. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. 12-1-1 this season when they score first. 4:53 to go. An icing call against Carolina. Thursday night on MSG, the Rangers take on the Colorado Avalanche. Hope you'll join us. Live coverage begins at 6:30 with Visa Rangers game night with Al Trautwig. And then it's the Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche Thursday night on MSG. The Avalanche making the tour of the metropolitan area, playing the Islanders tonight in Brooklyn, play at New Jersey tomorrow, and here at the Garden Thursday.
They lead the Islanders 1-0 in the first period.
Rangers will play in Brooklyn Wednesday night before that Colorado game. That game will be on NBC Sportsnet. The puck lifted out by Slavin, and it's gloved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. 4:45 to go in the first period. Rangers have a power play goal from Matt Zuccarello. And some physical play. DraftKings brings us our DraftKings Spotlight. The spotlight falls on Matt Zuccarello, who now has an 11-game point streak against the Carolina Hurricanes, and the first Ranger with an 11-game point streak against an opponent since Mark Messier had one against the Philadelphia Flyers from 1991 through 1993. Play daily fantasy hockey on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Rangers. And Trent Zuccarello with the big goal will give the Rangers the early lead. Dominic Moore now against Elias Lindholm comes in. Victor Rask was sent out. Controlled by the Hurricanes. Moved down the boards by Falk, and out to get it was Henrik Lundqvist. Around to Emerson Edom. And offside whistled against the Rangers as Jarrett Stoll went out of play. 4:33 to go in this first period.
Now, Dominic Moore was saying this morning how comfortable he feels on the left wing. He said it really hasn't been an issue of playing over there. Of course, he's over there because Stoll is at the center ice position. Dominic Moore is also telling us this morning how upset everybody on the team is with the way they've been playing. So they played a much better first period here, even though the shots don't really indicate that, but most of the play is during the Carolina zone.
What did he say, Joe? Loose play by everybody? That shot blocked in front. Good play by Dan Boyle.
Yeah, exactly. Just loose. Their whole game. Loose with the puck, without the puck.
Riley Nash sending it up the board to Brett Pesce. All the way around Skinner. Try to center, and Yandel got a piece of it. Christopher Stieg. Now Riley Nash. Stieg. Lyles lost control. It's out of the zone. Kreider trying to take it away. Does. Kreider across. His pass blocked by Riley Nash. He had an open man, Kevin Hayes, on the other side, just coming off the bench. Girardi goes back to Mark Stahl. Rangers still without Kevin Klein, who went off earlier in some pain. And he's still being checked out by the training staff.
Jim Ramsey.
Staff.
Jim Ramsey still not on the Ranger bench.
Right. Nestrasil fires. That was blocked and cleared from in front by Girardi. Girardi's had a good start to this game. One of those defensemen that struggled a little bit during this down stretch by the Rangers. Nestrasil moves in. Mark Stahl is there. Pass in front and across. Slavin tried to hit Jordan Stahl, but they missed connection.
JT Miller, good job coming back defensively.
Centered and a save by Lundqvist. The puck loose. Nestrasil had a big chance on the pass from Eric Stahl. And Lundqvist, whose stick is now behind the net and against the end boards. Victor Rask was tied up by Dan Boyle. The puck fired around the boards and out. And now Lundqvist will get help from Captain Ryan McDonough and has his stick back. Carolina out shooting the Rangers here 10-5. Lundqvist looks around, fires hard around the boards.
Carolina's gotten better the second half of this period. Rangers had a really good start to this game, forcing turnovers in the Carolina zone, and not every shot was getting through on net, but Carolina's come on.
As Clement hit by Girardi. Zuccarello tried to lift it. It was deflected. Pushed ahead for Dominic Moore. Moore was interfered with at the line.
John Michael Lyles. Yeah, John Michael Lyles stopped him. Left his lane to slow him down. Meanwhile, here's our look at our Coke Zero Super Slow-Mo replay and the chance and the save. Nestrasil there as he's able to get his stick free with Hayes close by, but what a save by Henrik Lundqvist. Well, we've seen a lot of those this season.
Yes.
And then here's the penalty. Don Moore just tries to tip it in, and you can see that Lyles, once he moved out of his lane into the skating lane where Moore was, and he didn't have the puck, of course, that's an interference call.
Lyles for interference at 18-11. This Rangers power play brought to you by Volkswagen. Shot wide by Dan Boyle. Boyle and Yandel. Boyle for Victor, for Lindberg, who scores! Oscar Lindberg! It's a power play goal! And it's 2-0 Rangers.
Boy, right again from the faceoff. The Rangers get control of the puck and start moving it around. They do a good job. Boyle misses the net here, but the Rangers keep control of the puck. And eventually, Boyle, instead of taking the same shot, makes the pass instead. What a pass. So Dan Boyle, 2 assists on the power play. Yandel to Boyle to Lindberg, and the finish. And Lindberg continues his fine play for the Rangers.
His first NHL power play goal. His 9th goal of the season. 18:23 the time. The Rangers with 2 power play goals lead it 2-0.
This is unusual for Carolina. They're the least penalized team in the National Hockey League.
The Rangers getting the opportunity and cashing in. Edom sends it deep. Oscar Lindberg has gotten more and more responsibility as the season has gone along, and he's thrived on it.
Yeah, well, they've tried him in different areas of the game, and he has proven to the coaching staff that he can contribute in many different areas.
Nash back for the puck. Able to work it ahead. Lindberg gets the goal from Boyle and Yandel at 18:23. And as Joe mentioned, 2 assists for Dan Boyle. It's a great start to the game for him as he returns to the lineup after being scratched the last 2 games in favor of Dylan McIlrath. McIlrath a healthy scratch, along with Jason Megda, who's called up today from Hartford.
And Dylan McIlrath did a good job in those games that he was in there. Just a numbers game on defense for the Rangers.
Puck around the board, stopped by Ron Hainsey. Those numbers can change, Joe, if Kevin Klein is out any length of time.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the Rangers get outshot, Sam, but they go in with a nice lead.
A lead at the end of the first period. It started with Matt Zuccarello with his power play goal, followed by Oscar Lindberg with a power play goal, 2 assists for Dan Boyle, and the Rangers head for the locker room with a 2-0 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes. We go to the Visa Gameside studio to Al Trotwig. Al.
Dan, coming up on the Delta Intermission Report, I'll talk to Ranger defenseman Dan Girardi and see if he has seen signs of improved play from his team. We'll also be joined by Anson Carter to break down the first period, and Bill Pito takes us around the National Hockey League with the Audi MSG 150. The Rangers don't get 1. They get 2 power play goals in the first period, and that's where we stand. Oscar Lindberg just gave them a 2-0 lead. Earlier, the Rangers scored on a power play goal, and it's 2-0 as we head to the Delta Intermission Report.
We are back at Madison Square Garden. Welcome to New York Rangers hockey on MSG. As always, presented by Chase, and you're in the Chase locker room at Chase Square here at Madison Square Garden. Stop by next time you're at the Garden. Maybe you get the magic key, and who knows what kind of prizes you find in the locker room. Let's check out our Cadillac trivia question of the night. Who's the only player to have a 40-goal season for both the Rangers and Whalers or Hurricanes franchises?
Oh, I know that. Paul Samuelson.
That's 40 goals total.
Oh. Or 40 whacks with the stick at somebody in the first 3 games.
All right.
Dan Boyle played well in that first period, a couple of assists. He was very active as Anson Carter showed the early shifts of the period for the Rangers, and Dan Boyle was right in on top of things and making things happen. And Alain Vigneault said, you know what, we need him in there for our power play as well, and both his assists in the first period come on the power play.
No Kevin Klein for the remainder of the game, Joe.
No.
That's a big loss.
Muscle strain is the report, and it's a huge loss. Kevin Klein has been, you know, arguably their steadiest defenseman up to this point in the season.
So Ulf Samuelsson, who handles the defense, will have to rotate 5. And as we said about the numbers game in the first period, Dylan McIlrath, stay ready.
Kid's worked hard when he hasn't played to be ready, Sam, and it is shown in the games that he's played.
Darren Stoll clearing it out. Rangers start the second period with the fourth line and Girardi and McDonough on defense. Stoll, Edom, and Moore. Dominic Moore with the puck here. Rangers move up, 3 men across. Puck deflected. Played back by John Michael Lyles to Ron Hainsey. Good intercept by Mark Stahl. Dan Boyle moves in, swings it around the board. Zuccarello waits for it. In the corner, Victor Rask. And it's chipped out by Lindholm to Eric Stahl. Checked there by Dan Boyle. The backhander, a save by Lundqvist. Tough backhander by Eric Stahl. Nestrasil, Andre Nestrasil sending it in. Mark Stahl fires it hard around the boards. Turning attempt was blocked and fired out. Jordan Stahl to Nestrasil. And Boyle on him. Joakim Nordstrom. Nordstrom's pass intercepted by Nash. Sends out Zuccarello. Nash down the middle. Zuccarello trying to cut in and then was stopped by Nordstrom, who turns it the other way. Nestrasil looking to make a play, but Girardi came back to stop him. Jordan Stahl for Joakim Nestrasil out. Here's Nestrasil. Joakim Nordstrom in front. It's deflected in by Jordan Stahl. Beautiful pass from Nestrasil to Jordan Stahl. And the Hurricanes are on the board. Rangers lead cut to 2-1.
Well, the Hurricanes got in quickly and forced the Rangers into a turnover and eventually just get it to the front of the net. And there's Girardi. He gets forechecked by 2 players. And then the puck comes, again, right to the slot. Nestrasil made a beautiful play. Going to his backhand, faked it, and then throws the backhand pass in front. And there was Jordan Stahl. You know, this is the checking line for Carolina. So when this line scores a goal, that's a huge bonus for their team.
Jordan Stahl with his 5th goal of the season. And the Hurricanes, who picked up their game midway through the first period, have continued here at the start of the second. Rangers are offside. Hurricanes are out shooting the Rangers 12-6. And the Rangers have a 2-1 lead thanks to 2 power play goals. Jordan Stahl from Nestrasil and Nordstrom. And the Hurricanes get on the board. 1:40 the time of the goal here in the second period. Lundqvist on the board for Kreider. That was blocked by Versteeg. Here's Lindbergh lifting it out. Fosk after it. Played by Slavin around the boards. Fosk against Riley Nash. Kreider banks one in! How about that? Chris Kreider just turned and blasted it. And it beat Cam Ward, who just wasn't ready for it.
Well, and then Cam Ward takes his stick and slams it across the post in frustration, breaks his stick, and then throws the rest of it. Kreider on the board, gets it back in deep. Good job by Foss to get in there and steal it. And then just a quick shot. And Cam Ward knows he should have had that one, and the frustration shows on him. Again, good job by both those players, and then eventually Kreider just throws it at the net. And then there you see how the goaltender Cam Ward felt about that one.
Big goal for the Rangers. It comes 44 seconds after Carolina had scored. It restores the 2-goal lead. Kreider with his 4th of the season. Rangers lead 3-1.
Real good job by Fox to get in there and force the turnover. What we saw early in the game from the Rangers.
Rangers goal
Crossed by
his
David
4th of the season.
Fired by
Scored
Brad
by
Malone,
number
took
20,
away.
Chris Kreider.
Stallberg was looking for it. Mark Stahl looking for it. Played there by Dominic Moore. And Dan Boyle out to Mark Stahl. Kreider from Fosk at 2:24. And the Rangers lead 3-1. by McClement. That shot by Lindholm went off Girardi's leg and out of play. Joe, time for the Papa John's third goal replay.
Now the Rangers get in and get a forecheck going. Kreider was there and just throws it at the net after a good job by Jesper Fast to poke the puck away, and Cam Ward, he looked and just was not in position to stop that one. That's a bad goal.
The day sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead, Sam.
The day after the Rangers score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu price online order at papajohns.com with promo code Rangers3, available at participating Papa John's locations.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh. You got it next time. Lyles shoots it, gets through with Eric Stahl skating right in front of Henrik Lundqvist. Lundqvist stayed with it and made the save.
Well, JT Miller was shaken up as well. He goes in. See the hit, and he just shoulder-to-shoulder hit with Jay McClement, and you can see how Miller wasn't putting much weight on his right leg.
Yeah, Rangers already down a man with Kevin Klein injured. JT Miller trying to play through it. Turning and shooting. Nestrasil a save. The rebound cleared away by Brassard.
Oh, what a save.
Back the other way, Rick Dash. Hainsey goes over. And trying to drag it around him, but lost control.
This is that third line again. The checking line on the ice for Carolina getting that chance.
Nestrasil has been good.
Sure has.
Nordstrom sends it deep. Brassard, checked by Jordan Stahl. Able to get loose and fire it out of the zone. 4.5 minutes gone by, second period. Each team with a goal here in the second. Rangers lead 3-1. Falk playing it off the glass. Girardi there to take it back. Mark Stahl tipped in by Kreider, who chases, gets there. Kreider with that great speed. Turns, finds an open man. The shot went wide by Jesper Fast. Those are the things Kreider can do with that tremendous skating power that he has. JT Miller is on. Being shaken up in that collision and that hit by Jay McClement. Riley Nash lifted it ahead. Rangers block it, take it back. Down comes Miller. Leaves it for Lindbergh. Pass in front. Save by Ward. Well, JT Miller on a beautiful passing play, and Miller's deflection was stopped.
That all started with JT Miller flying through the neutral zone. Here's a look at that from our Buick RoboCam. And JT Miller, here he comes. He's got speed. Little drop pass, goes to the net. And he'll end up getting it back, and he redirects it, and the left pad of Cam Ward makes that save. Beautiful passing by that threesome, and Cam Ward, his best save of the game.
The RoboCam replay brought to you by the new Buick. Buick, your kind of luxury. Ball start on the faceoff. Miller upset with Brad Malone. And Malone pushed back in Miller. Is separated by the linesman.
Now Malone is, if you're, he slashes JT Miller, and that's what Miller was upset about. Malone, of all these Carolina players, would be considered their toughest player physically.
Along the boards, Kevin Hayes. Puck picked up by Slavin. Taking Slavin's pass. Terry pass a little behind Malone. And JT Miller the other way. Stopped by Chris Terry. Lundqvist leaves it for Miller. McDonough comes out from behind the net. Stopped in center by Slavin. Moves in. Pass across tip. Terry's pass blocked by McDonough. McClement's trying to play it, number 18. Hayes comes out with it. Gets it to Keith Yandel. Swept away. And that puck was outside the zone, offside on Carolina. 6:09 gone by, second period. Carolina got a goal from Jordan Stahl, cut it to 2-1. Chris Kreider made it 3-1 Rangers. Download MSG Go, the only app that lets you watch MSG Network's coverage of live Knicks games anywhere. Download now at the App Store or Google Play. MSG Go is currently available to MSG Network subscribers of participating television providers. First point in the last 7 games for Chris Kreider. First goal in the last 8 games. And that had to feel good for Chris Kreider.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't expect it to go in, but you know what? It gives you a reminder. Just sometimes just throw the puck at the net. Never know what's going to happen.
You're right about that. I hate to do this, Joe, but I'm taking an assist away from Dan Boyle. Actually, the official scorers have done that.
Why?
On the first goal, only 1 assist given. That's to Zuccarello. Excuse me, that's to Brassard. It's Zuccarello from Brassard.
Oh, I thought
Said that Boyle did not touch the puck.
Oh, okay.
Getting it back to Zuccarello.
He got in there and helped out, though, on the play.
I agree.
Thought he got a piece of it, but I'm sure they looked closely at the video.
Lindholm cuts in and shoots, and a save with a stick by Lundqvist. Another shot goes wide by Lyles. Some good chances by Carolina.
Lindholm has been better as of late.
There's Eric Stahl, checked by Rick Nash. Good job by Nash, tying him up along the boards. Lindholm gets the puck, and the shot deflected away by McDonough. Out of play it goes.
Now Lindholm comes in with a 4-game point streak, 4 points in his last 4 games. And he's a former #1 pick that, you know, they've been hoping that his game keeps improving. At times it looks like he's ready to get to the next level. Here he is here, just number 16. That's a good move, boy. Cutting to the middle on his forehand, getting a shot through.
Face-off win, and the shot from the point by Lyles, a save by Lundqvist. 16 shots on goal for Carolina.
Yeah, well, they get, you know what, they come in as the #1 face-off team in the NHL. So you start winning those kinds of face-offs like that when they win it cleanly, right back to the point, shot on goal. Carolina's won 16 face-offs in this game to the Rangers 11.
And 7-2 here in the second period. Tipped in by Nestrasil for Carolina. Lundqvist goes out to get it. It was blocked by Jordan Stahl, but moved around by Yandel. Lyles recovers. Rangers have only 8 shots on goal, but they've scored 3. Lead to Nestrasil. That's blocked by Yandel again. Made a couple of good defensive plays here. Nash tied up Nestrasil. Yandel cleared the puck. Brett Pesce back for it. Good forecheck by Brassard. Zuccarello able to take it away. Kreider gets it back to Mark Stahl. Around for Brassard. Check there. He winds it to Zuccarello. Zuccarello checked by Jordan Stahl. Mark winds it deep to Brassard behind the net. Dan Boyle is in front, battling for Stieg. That's pass in front for Zuccarello. He couldn't tuck it in. He was checked by Jordan Stahl. Dan Boyle shoots, saved by Ward. He holds it.
You know what, Sam? There was a hard pass, and he was right on his forehand, but I believe it was behind the goal line, so he would have had to bring it back to his backhand to tuck it in. And I think it just, the pass was so hard it bounced right off his stick. Here it is again. See, it was behind the goal line, so he would have had to get it to his backhand. And the puck just bounces off, and they can't reach it with the backhand to put it into the empty net.
Oh, so close. Good job by that line on their forecheck, keeping the puck and the pressure on in the Carolina zone. Lindbergh, who has a goal in the game. On against Riley Nash for the face-off. Lindbergh won it, but getting to the puck was Versteeg. Rangers take it back. Zuccarello, Lindbergh, and Kreider, the Rangers goal scorers. Jordan Stahl for Carolina. Lundqvist plays the glass. Versteeg put it in front. Girardi stopped that. Kreider missed it. Versteeg sends it back in. 8:40 gone by in the second period. Played ahead by Slavin. Rangers take it back. Jesper Fast on the off wing. Holds, And fires, save with a blocker by Ward. Lifted out by Jacob Slavin. 2-on-1 for Carolina. Skinner moves in, missed wide as he was checked by McDonough.
He had 3 shots in the first period and 2 others blocked. And that was an excellent opportunity for Skinner.
Brought back in by Chris Terry. On goal and sticked aside by Lundqvist. Foss getting it ahead to Kevin Hayes. Ward leaves it for Falk. Hainsey up ahead for Malone. Good job by McDonough stopping Malone. And the puck was outside the zone, brought back in, offside Rangers. 10:28 to go here in the second period. Bring the whole family and get this close with the Westchester Knicks. Great seats are available. Tickets starting at $10 are on sale now. Visit westchesterknicks.com. Get a close-up look at future NBA talent. Here's Jeff Skinner. You talked about him. Former NHL Rookie of the Year.
Only 6 points on the season for Skinner, but just seems like every time he's in this building, he's all over the place. Puck's on his stick. He's going to the net. He's getting chances.
Artie sending it up the boards. Edom behind the back for Dominic Moore, plays it in. Elias Lindholm for Carolina. Lyles pressured by Edom. Eric Stahl picks it up. Girardi is there, poking at it. Backhander and save. The rebound cleared away. Another good chance on the backhand for Eric Stahl. He's had a couple of those in the game. Lyles back court. Brought out by Brett Pesce and tipped in by Nordstrom. Back court, McDonough. Estrasil takes it back. His pass blocked by McDonough. Mark Stahl trying to take it away. And able to move it. The referee fell down on the play. Falk. Nice passing. Jordan Stahl stopped. Great play by McDonough. Nash against Falk. They tie each other up. Brassard moves in, and out with the puck comes Joakim Nordstrom.
And with Klein out of the lineup for the Rangers, McDonough now playing both the left and the right side. That his first taste of playing the right side for Team USA in the Olympics a couple of years ago.
8:50 to go in the second. Girardi with a good hit, knocked down Brad Malone. Terry fires, Yandel deflected that. Up into the netting it goes, and play stops. 8:44 to go in the second. Rangers have a 3-1 lead. The official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Wednesday night in Brooklyn. Rangers and the Islanders, first time this season. That's on NBC Sports Net and ESPN 1050 AM radio. Thursday night on MSG. Colorado is here 7 p.m. Sunday night, Ottawa's here 7 p.m. on MSG. All games on MSG preceded 1/2 hour by Visa Rangers game night. And we'll have post-game coverage. Special Hockey Night Live post-game coverage at 10:30. Bill Pito will anchor that with Steve Valiquette and Rick DiPietro. Should be good. So after the game on NBC Sportsnet, turn right over to MSG for post-game coverage.
John Giannone, I believe, will be there to help out.
Yes, in the locker room, right? Covering the game.
There's a penalty against Carolina.
Rangers get their 4th power play of the game. Chris Versteeg upset with the call. Heads for the penalty box.
Well, that's right after another good scoring chance by Carolina.
Tripping call.
I'm not sure where the argument would be on that one by Chris Versteeg, but maybe something happened prior to that upset him. So for Bill Peters, his team, again, he's not used to seeing his team take this many penalties.
Rangers power play. Joe, the first 6 games, Rangers power play this season was awful, 1 for 16. Since then, they're going at better than 27%. That would be 2nd in the league.
That's a great number.
Zuccarello up the boards to McDonough. Down the boards for Zuccarello. Now McDonough again. Finds an open man. Dan Boyle. He shoots, saved by Ward. McDonough and Boyle, Nash, Brassard, and Zuccarello for the power play. Rangers 2 for 3 on the power play in the game, with power play goals in 5 of their last 6 games. Off the stick of Ward, around the Falk, blocked by Nash. Dan Boyle in deep. Ron Hainsey is there for Carolina. Zuccarello works it loose. He's got Brassard open, but that was blocked with a skate. Good job by Jay McClement for Carolina, and McClement drives it all the way down.
Now, McClement, throughout his career in the NHL, he's always been a very good defensive player, very good penalty killer.
There's McDonough heading up slowly with just under a minute to go in the power play. Jordan Staal stops him. Dan Boyle sends it in. Kevin Hayes has come on with Chris Kreider, Oscar Lindberg, and Keith Yandel. Dan Girardi comes on with the second power play unit. Yandel carrying the puck. Out around Brad Malone. Lost control. Girardi's got it. Around the boards for Lindberg. Now to Kreider. Malone checks him, and that's cleared by Pesce. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Just under 7 minutes to go, first period. The second period, excuse me. Rangers with the 3-1 lead. Around to Hainsey. Off the glass. Oh, nice play by Girardi on the keep-in. Hayes had it knocked away by Hainsey, and that will do it for the power play. Rangers 2 for 4 on the power play in the game. Lead at 3-1. Hainsey was able to stop Emerson Edom. Justin Falk. Penalty on Kevin Hayes. Tripping the call. And Carolina will have a man advantage with 6:17 to go here in the second.
Now, Justin Falk, you see the nice move he puts on. He skates and handles the puck well. In fact, he leads his Carolina team in scoring. Justin Falk, the defenseman, and Kevin Hayes tries to reach out and get the puck, and instead gets the legs and puts Carolina on the power play.
Hayes for tripping at 13:43, third power play of the game for Carolina. Falk is on.
Yeah, 10 power play goals this season for Carolina, 8 by Falk.
He has 8 goals, all 8 on the power play. He and Jamie Benn tied for the league lead. Good clear by the Rangers. We're 2 for 2 on the penalty kill in the game. Have Fost and Moore with Mark Stahl and Dan Girardi. Girardi against Victor Rask. Mark Stahl moved it to Rask. Dominic Moore drives it, and it stopped. Good play by Hanifin, and a good block with the skate by Dan Girardi. Clearing attempt was sent back in, was kept in. Ooh, that was close.
And Hanifin again.
Big drive, deflects wide. Coming around the net was Lindholm. Lindholm, number 16, with the puck. Drops it off to Rask. Back to Hanifin. Hanifin looking for room. Now Rask shoots wide. Good wrist shot. Man, he got a lot on that shot. Hanifin with the puck. More on him. Played ahead by Falk. Lindholm along the boards. Gets it back from Rask to Falk for a shot off the crossbar. Oh! What a quick release by Justin Falk. Here's Falk again. Now Lindholm. Rangers look tired out there. They've been on a long time. Lindholm with the puck. Rask to Falk. To Hanifin toward the net wide. Lindholm's got it. 25 seconds in the power play. Lindholm. Eric Stahl. Got it on goal. Was stopped by Lundqvist. Comes out to Falk. Now to Hanifin. He walks in and shoots. Save by Lundqvist. The rebound. Girardi. Tied up by Hanifin. Gets it to Mark Stahl. And it's cleared by Jesper Fast.
Boy, what a good play by Girardi, who can hardly skate to the bench.
Interception. Here's Hayes. Down low and scores! Derek Brassard! Hayes came out of the penalty box, intercepted the clearing attempt, and it results in a 4-1 Rangers lead.
Cam Ward just simply didn't see him. And Hayes, when he comes on the box, he hustled to the blue line right away. There he was, he hustles to keep it in, and then the fake shot. And Ward had to play it like it was going to be a shot. And so he braced himself, and then there it is, beautiful pass. And Brassard made no mistake as he had all the room on the short side.
Well, we talked about the ups and downs of Cam Ward, and we've seen it in this game.
And 4 goals on 12 shots.
Looks like they'll do the face-off again. Brassard with his 7th from Hayes at 15:49. Just as the penalty was over to Kevin Hayes, he sprung out of the penalty box, and his heads-up play turned it into a goal. Zuccarello tried to play it. Skinner moves in. Skinner shoots deflected out of play by McDonough. Rangers get a goal from Derek Brassard, his 7th, and with 3:57 to go in the second, the Rangers lead it 4-1. Wednesday night, after the Rangers and Islanders do battle in Brooklyn for the first time this season, turn to MSG for complete post-game reaction and analysis on the Hockey Night Live Rangers Islanders post-game special. Bill Pino will anchor. He will have not Steve Valiquette. I think Valley got a better offer. Ron Duguay is coming in. It'll be Ron Duguay and Rick DiPietro. It'll be 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network. The game will be broadcast on NBC Sportsnet. Immediately following, go to MSG for complete post-game coverage on the Hockey Night Live post-game special. Rangers here have been something special with a 4-1 lead, 3:45 to go in the second. Rangers special teams, 2 for 4 on the power play, 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Chris Versteeg with a wrist shot tipped wide by the defenseman Jacob Slavin. And the puck deflects into the Carolina bench. Stopping play with 3:29 to go. Rangers, as Joe mentioned, 4 goals on only 12 shots in the game.
Now, Sam, that last penalty kill was really the key one, because that group had been out on the ice for a long time, and Girardi, could hardly skate. They just couldn't get the puck in clear, and he made a little play when they were, right at the end. It allowed them to clear the zone. That led to the goal when he was tired by just holding onto the puck and put it towards the net to a teammate, and down the ice it went, and then Cam Ward turned it over, and the Rangers finished off the play with a goal.
Dominic Moore with a face-off win. Jordan Staal with a keep in the Nestrasil toward the net. It hit his own man, Nordstrom. Lindbergh able to clear it out. 4 different goal scorers for the Rangers in the game. Derek Brassard now has a goal and an assist in the game. Kreider, one of the goal scorers. Lindbergh and Zuccarello. John Michael Lyles. Now Brett Pesce. Pesce carries in. Goes deep for the puck. Strong move. Out to Lyles. He fires, saved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. 2:52 to go here in the second period. Lyles has always been a good offensive defenseman with a good shot. 21 shots on goal for Carolina, and Henrik Lundqvist with 20 saves in a strong game once again. The Rangers look towards their leader in goal, and he's answered the call.
So he's been pretty good, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Victor Rask and Jarrett Stoll. Stoll wins. The Rangers have done a pretty good job on faceoffs in the game, Joe.
Now, the Carolinas won a couple cleanly, but the Rangers have, they were reminded before the game as they iced the puck here. They were reminded before the game. They remind their center, listen, if you have trouble, just try and go for a tie. Just don't get beat cleanly, and then allow some of your wings to come in there and help out. And we saw that with, on the first power play goal when Boyle jumped in and helped out, even though he didn't get an assist on the play. And so now the puck is on the other side. That allows Dominic Moore to be on his strong side on the backhand. So he takes the face-off.
There's that tie-up.
Yeah, ties up, and then Stoll jumped right in, tipped the puck back, and the Rangers clear it. Cleared for an icing. It was close.
A little too hard,
yeah,
yes.
It was close.
2:34 to go. Once again, they come back for a face-off in the Ranger zone.
And that'll be on, now it's going to be on the other side this time. So let's see if Jarrett Stoll doesn't take the face-off.
Exactly
Because
right.
he's a right-handed shot, so his strong side is to his backhand, and he will take this face-off.
Against Eric Stahl. And the Rangers control it. Mark Stahl moves it off the boards. No icing there. It was tipped. And Ward out to play it. Moore takes it back. Centers for Edom. He was checked in front. Shot by Jarrett Stoll. A save by Ward. Here's Edom. The Mark Stahl, his shot was blocked by Lindholm. Another block by Hannafin, and the puck cleared out. Now Rask with a shot, he scores! Rask, I'm telling you, this guy's got some shot. He gets a lot on that shot. We saw one earlier just missed. That one beats Henrik Lundqvist. Rangers lead cut to 4-2.
Well, Victor Rask is another one of these young players that is playing on the top line. They think ideally he'll be a number 2 center iceman because he's very smart, but he gets it there and just rifles it. Boy, that's a quick release. He didn't waste much time. He just let it go quickly, and Lundqvist just gets a piece of it, but it goes right through Lundqvist. And that makes it a 4-2 game.
Rask, with his 8th goal, ties him with Justin Falk for the team lead.
He's a good, solid player. He's got good size. He's a real good defensive player. He's one of these Swedish players that we talked about, you know, Lindberg, and these kids come up from Sweden, and boy, they understand how to play defense and play without the puck. And now that he's getting more confidence on the offensive side, playing on the top line, he's scoring as well.
And just a reminder for the Rangers that these Hurricanes, they play hard. It's an up-and-coming team. It's a team that's trying to build something. And they won't let up here. Despite being behind, the Rangers have to stay sharp. Here's a 2-on-1. Hayes moving in. Hayes with Miller. He tried to stuff it in, the save by Ward. Ward kept the left pad down and was able to stop Kevin Hayes.
Well, Hayes was thinking pass most of the way, which he does. But then when the defenseman played the pass, then he had to make a quick decision to do something. See, then he got himself in so tight, and he takes himself away. When you're on your offside, like he has left-handed shot coming down the right side, your angle to shoot is so much better. And by the time he kept thinking pass, 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 by the time he got to a point where he couldn't make the pass, he didn't have much room left.
Here's Nash shooting, and a save made by Ward. In deep for Zuccarello, it's by him. Lyles able to play it. The Carolina second goal was Victor Rask, his 8th from Lindholm and Slavin. At 17:59 for Jacob Slavin, it's his first NHL point.
And it's what, 6th game, I believe, right, Sam? Game number 6.
Right, yes.
The kid that played a couple of years at Colorado College. He's another one of those young players they really like.
Also in the National Development Program, I believe. A steal by Riley Nash, but couldn't get a shot off as Boyle recovered. Versteeg shoots, blocked by Boyle. Well, made 2 good plays after he lost the puck. Back comes Carolina. Versteeg sets up Hannafin, save by Lundqvist. Woo! They keep coming at you, the Hurricanes.
Now remember that save. That's a huge save with 26 seconds left to go in the second period. They've been able to score that one and get within 1 going into the third period with some momentum. Now the turnover, and Hannafin's a tremendous skater. And he's a defenseman that just moved into the play and put himself in a position to get that shot.
26 seconds remaining in the period. Lindholm on the face-off against Dominic Moore. Jared Stoll trying to play him. Rask tied him up. Girardi is there poking at it. Lindholm there. Off the boards. Carolina comes away with it. Hanifin with a wrister that deflects just wide. Rask against Moore. Rask has it back. He shoots, save by Lundqvist. The rebound bounced over the stick of Eric Staal, and the period comes to an end. And I think the Rangers will be happy with that because Carolina kept coming on. They've outshot the Rangers 24-14, but the Rangers lead 4-2 end of the second.
Well, and Henrik Lundqvist had to make a couple of saves late. He made the stop on Hanifin. Then there was another face-off. And Rask gets that one. That looked like it might have been deflected on the way in, and that's a good save by Lundqvist to keep this a 2-goal lead for the Rangers going to the third.
Rangers head off. We go to the Visa Gameside studio and find out what Al Trautwig has in store for us.
Hey, Sam, on the New York Lottery Intermission Report, I'll speak to Derek Brassard, who has 1 goal in this game, could easily have 2. See what he thinks is happening out there on the ice in this 1 through 2. I'll be joined by Anson Carter. We'll break down what he has seen in the second period. And Bill Pito has the Audi MSG 150 around the National Hockey League. We'll take a break. When we come back, a 4-goal second period. The Hurricanes make it 2-1. The Rangers with a bad one make it 3-1. Some frustration, that's 4-1, and then 4-2.
The New York Rangers Intermission Report is presented by the New York Lottery.
New York City getting set for the third period. Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. And as part of Rangers Assist, presented by Chase, the Rangers and Chase recently celebrated the completion of a $25,000 donation of resources to support youth hockey in their community at Edward J. Murray Memorial Skating Center in Yonkers. That's great to see the kids involved and the Rangers with a great support and Chase with the great support. Let's find out what the coaches are thinking. John Ginone, who'd you talk to?
I talked to Ulf Samuelsson, and speaking of support, that's what he's providing to the Rangers. He said there's been a bigger urgency of working on the things that we have focused on. He said it's definitely been a step in the right direction so far tonight. We're not going to expect everything to all get fixed in one day, he said, but if you take the steps that we have towards playing the right way, I think we'll be okay. That said, we're going to be definitely tested here in the third. Carolina is going to open it up. They bring a lot of speed through the neutral zone. It's going to be a test for us in the third. When I asked him how much more of a test because there's only 5D, he said it's been all right so far. Mac, meaning McDonough, has played the left and the right to spread out ice time. He said G and Staal got burned a little bit with that long PK, so that was an issue for a bit, but all in all, quote, we are handling it well, guys.
Good stuff, John. Yeah, especially Girardi on that fourth goal made just a beautiful play while he was tired to make the pass to allow them to clear the zone that led to the goal.
Well, let's see if the Rangers can sustain. And if you joined us late, the reason we talked about, or John talked about, the 5D is that Kevin Klein suffered an injury in the first period and was unable to return. That gets deflected wide. Good early pressure by Carolina. Eric Staal with a big drive that's stopped by Lundqvist. Lyles plays it deep. Victor Rask with a puck. Checked by McDonough. McDonough and Girardi start the period. That shot a save. Lindholm shot getting through. Lyles to Lindholm. And a good defensive play by Jared Stoll. Rangers able to clear it out. Strong first shift by Carolina to start the third period. Rangers are 11 and that one went off the post. Brassard came close to giving the Rangers a 3-goal lead again. Here's Brassard, checked by Jordan Staal. Now Justin Falk playing ahead, starting to say the Rangers are 11-0 this season, and they take a lead into the third period. Carolina's had a couple of comeback wins.
They've had a good start to the period. That was the first chance that the Rangers had in this period. And they nearly made it a 3-goal game again.
Boyle playing it ahead, tipped ahead by Jesper Fast. Justin Falk with Lindbergh on him. Skinner. Pass through to Riley Nash. And Falk comes back to get it. Around for Girardi. Nice little touch pass to Keith Yandle. Cam Ward out to get the puck. Fires it out quickly. Pass intended for Skinner was tipped by Yandle coming back.
Skinner, 4 shots on goal in the game and 4 others that have been blocked.
Steve who bumped Hanifin, the defenseman, the rookie defenseman, takes it deep. Skinner's shot deflected away. Miller got a piece of it. Riley Nash was stopped by the combination of Miller and Stallberg. That puck all the way down is an icing on Carolina. 2:23 gone by here in the third period.
Well, Rangers with a 2-goal lead nearly made it a 3-goal lead as Brassard on the other side ends up with that quick shot. It looked like Ward just got a piece of it first with the right skate or right pad. Yeah, it goes right off the skate, then off the post, and out the other way. That close from giving the Rangers that 3-goal lead. Boy, he's had some chances in this game.
He has. Rangers need Brassard to come up big. In fact, the entire line, and Zuccarello and Brassard each have a goal in the game. That shot hit the defenseman Hanifin in front. Brassard, Zuccarello, and Nash, the Rangers' #1 line with Derek Stepan out 4 to 6 weeks. They need to continue to produce. Rangers break up the rush of Jeff Skinner. Mark Stahl fires it across, tipped ahead by Zuccarello. After it against Ron Hainsey. Eric Stahl plays it back. Justin Falk. Good lead to Lindholm. Breaks to the net. Save and another save by Lundqvist on the rebound. Oh, man.
Well, how about the pass? Justin Falk. Beautiful pass right on the tape. Hard. Lindholm in stride with 2 chances.
Good play. And when the Rangers need the big save, Lundqvist comes through again. Here's Emerson Edom. Hainsey checks in. Jordan Stahl puts it loose. And Stahl takes the outlet from Victor Rask. It's Eric Stahl carrying, excuse me. He moves in and Dan Boyle stopped him. McMoore. Forced back by Chris Terry, number 25. Wiles for Carolina. Rangers with a long winning streak on home ice against Carolina. In 10 games, they've won 17 of their last 18 meetings with the Carolina team. Wiles with a big drive that hit his own man, and while he was on the ice, what an effort by McClement. He got hurt. He got hit by that shot. He got a shot off.
Now we're going to take a look at our Volvo telestrator here. Elias Lindholm is right here, and you'll see him go this way and then back, and you'll see a beautiful pass coming up from Falk. So he goes to one side of the boards, then the other, now sprints to the open. Falk gives him a perfect pass, and here he goes. One shot, great save. Second one, left pad save. The pass, Lindholm's been real good lately and has 2 excellent chances there.
Zuccarello. Around it goes. Jordan Stahl back to get it. Brassard is there to tie him up. Nash comes away with the puck. Dropped it off the boards, and Jordan Stahl moves it out. Yandle to McDonough. McDonough on the right side here. Pressured by Nestrasil. Nash moves in. And Slavin. That's poked away from Zuccarello. Yandle with a long shot. Saved by Ward. The rebound off the glass. Stopped by Dan Boyle. In deep, Lindholm. Chopped that by Justin Falk. Zuccarello against Jordan Stahl. Nice move the other way. Stahl chases. Mark Stahl in deep. And off the skate of the referee and is taken by Falk. Nestrasil lifts it out, and Mark Stahl takes over. 5:20 gone by here in the third period. Rangers leading 4-2. touch pass. Ron Hainsey, the defenseman, moves in and shoots. Save by Lundqvist. Fired out by Dan Boyle. Kreider. And that's lifted into the Carolina bench. Stopping play. 5:38 gone by here in the third. Join the Rangers and USA Hockey for Try Hockey for Free beginner lessons. That's throughout the tri-state area. Visit NewYorkRangers.com to sign up today. The kids will love that. They'll love being on the ice. They'll love playing hockey. Try Hockey for Free. Beginner lessons. Face-off win by McClement. Who's back on after rather Rask is on that face-off. Rask, Eric Stahl, and Elias Lindholm. Lindholm shot blocked by McDonough. Stahl back to Lyles. That shot was blocked. Eric Stahl against Girardi. Girardi got a skate on it. Edom trying to clear it out of the zone. And that was kept in on the line. The Rangers able to clear out. Victor Rask playing it back to John Michael Lyles. Cleared by Girardi. Rangers changing. Dominic Moore heading to the bench. Avoided contact with the puck. JT Miller drives in. Save. The rebound loose. Cleared aside. Then a shot by Yandel. A save. Yandel's rebound is blocked. Yandel again. And that's blocked. Oh, man. Suddenly, the Rangers had 3 glorious chances. Lundqvist keeps it moving. Nestrasil stopped it. Rangers able to come out. Hanifin. There's 2 Boston guys right there. Hanifin against Hayes. Played back by Nestrasil.
That should have been a whistle.
I thought it hit the netting. You're right, Joe. I agree. Not detected. Good takeaway by Nash. Nash comes back in. Nash fires from a sharp angle. A save by Ward. Strong move again by Rick Nash. Skinner tries to play it. Girardi off the board for Zuccarello. Fired up by Slavin to Christopher Steed. Girardi against Skinner. Skinner takes it away. The pass was tipped. Kreider is there. Mark Stahl around for Girardi. And Brassard gets it out to Mark Stahl. 3-on-2 across. Leaves it for Kreider. Saved by Ward. Kreider again off the side of the net. Bounces down. Mark Stahl looks to play it. In the corner, Jesper Fast, the back pass. McDonough with a drive that was blocked by Verstegen and broke his stick. Skinner's got the puck. He's got an open man just off the bench. Terry breaks in. Terry shoots. He scores. He slid it underneath Henrik Lundqvist. And with 11:37 to go in the third, it's a 1-goal game.
Well, Cam Ward makes all those saves, and the Rangers' defense were really aggressive. We saw Stahl weigh in on the play. The same with McDonough. And eventually, there's Stahl. You see him inside the circles. Then this long pass. And coming off the bench was Terry. And, boy, it didn't look like he had much room because McDonough came back right there. And you could see Lundqvist decide to try and reach out with the stick and poke the puck off the stick of Terry. He missed. That left the middle of the, in between the pads open. And Terry found the room and the goal.
Started with that broken stick of Christopher Steed. And suddenly Chris Terry comes off the bench and winds up with a breakaway. And it's 4-3. The Rangers had a 3-goal lead at one point in the second period, 4-1. And the Hurricanes continue to battle. Just over 11 minutes to go. And it's a 4-3 game. Eric Stahl lost it, sent back in. Hanifin goes to get it. Chris Terry with his 3rd of the season from Skinner and Hainsey at 8:23. Lindholm moves in. McDonough's there. Moore got a piece. Rask against Moore. Lindholm. Girardi tries to move it. Stopped by Hanifin. Noah Hanifin shot blocked by Dominic Moore. Aggressive play by Moore. Eric Staal is denied by McDonough.
Now you think with this one-goal game now, Sam, you think of the saves that Cam Ward made in this period. Where the Rangers could have regained a 3-goal lead, and now it's down to 1 again.
Ball. Back to Hainsey. Coming down to the midway point, third period. Hainsey fires in. Side of the net, backhander in front. Eric Staal is checked by Zuccarello. And then Mark picked him up. Excuse me, that was Nordstrom. Back the other way, Nash. He missed. Off the crossbar.
This shouldn't be this wide open, should it?
No. There's a lot of breakaways. It's exciting stuff.
That was a beautiful pass from Brassard. After Zuccarello made the defensive play on Staal, on Eric Staal, it was Brassard that made the pass to Nash for the breakaway.
Girardi off the boards to Kreider. That's blocked by Versteeg. 9:20 to go in the third. Rangers leading 4-3 after leading 4-1. Kreider's pass taken away by Riley Nash. Girardi gets it to Yandel. Back to Dan Girardi. Yandel up the middle. Tipped ahead by Fost. Lyles, Fost on him. Lindbergh got a piece of the defenseman as well, but the Hurricanes move out. Lundqvist steers it to Girardi off the glass and out. Good play at the line by Yandel. Hayes dumps it in. Ward around to Slavin. Steve was stopped by Hayes.
No whistles in this period,
No,
huh, Sam?
just continuous play. 8:20 to go.
Except for the goals, that's about the only stoppage in play we've had.
Nice play by Victor Stahlberg.
Or goal, I should say.
Yeah.
1 goal in this period.
Good play by Jarrett Stoll in the neutral zone. McDonough. Stahl leaves it for Victor Rask. Now Lindholm shooting went through the defenseman McDonough and wide of the net. Boyle ties up Rask. Dominic Moore. Off the boards. Jarrett Stoll after it. Lyles tries to get away. They both go down hard. And both are okay. Moore keeps it alive. Emerson Edom. Girardi to Brassard for the drive. Stick save by Ward. Eric Staal. Taken away by Moore and Edom. Moore for Edom. Checked there by Lindholm. Brassard's got the puck. Brassard against Pesce. Mark Staal with a wrist shot wide. Looking for a deflection in front. Good forecheck pressure. Rangers complete a line change. Zuccarello and Nash join Brassard. Here's Nestrasil. He goes down, and Nash able to push it out of the zone with 6:45 to go. Ball got it to Nordstrom, who's stopped by Zuccarello. Nash lifts it across. And Ron Hainsey is there. Ball to Nestrasil. Nestrasil against Yandel. He's double teamed. Yandel and Lindbergh, and Lindbergh clears it down the ice. Falk back to get it. Shots are even here in the third period, 8 apiece. Carolina out shooting the Rangers for the game 32-22. In the Rangers zone, Jay McClement. Lundqvist plays it away from him. Up to Kreider. And cleared out by Hayes. 6 minutes to go in the third. 4-3, Rangers leading. Chris Terry with a shot that went off Yandel wide. open by Slavin. He took a hit from Stallberg. Poked away from Stallberg. Long shot by Hannafin, deflected just wide. Good deflection by Brad Malone. Pressure here from Carolina as they keep the puck in the Rangers zone, but a giveaway to Stallberg. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Shot by Slavin, deflected on the way in. Changed pace, and Lundqvist had some difficulty with it, but stayed with it. And he's shaken up on the play. Back the other way. Skinner took it away. Riley Nash looking, shooting, saved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. It was going wide, but Lundqvist feeling the effects of the earlier play. It's slow to get up. Rangers still leading 4-3. Now it's time for our Timberland Pro Hard Hits highlights.
Well, the Rangers have out-hit Carolina 26-10 in the period. We've seen a little bit. Again, the Rangers have been the more aggressive team, which you would expect. This Carolina team not very physical, but they've come back. Speaking of hits, Henrik Lundqvist has to make that save, and that's Malone going hard to the net. He's their most physical player. A little bit of a collision there. Mark Stahl involved also. Lundqvist okay, I think. Maybe shaking up a little bit.
Still trying to shake it off. 5:08 to go here in the third. Rangers leading 4-3. Islanders are leading Colorado 4-2 in the third period in their game in Brooklyn. Rangers will be in Brooklyn Wednesday night to play the Islanders for the first time this season. And back home Thursday night to take on the Colorado Avalanche. Rask was stopped by McDonough. McDonough's had a strong game for the Rangers. Rask. Jared Stoll able to lift it out. Lyles to Lindholm. Lindholm cutting in against McDonough. Pesce looking for a deflection from Jordan Stahl, just missed.
Yeah, he got the deflection and it just went wide of the far post.
Zuccarello goes deep against Lyles. Lyles stays with him. Nash for Zuccarello. Lyles still on Zuccarello. Drops it back to Brassard. Picked up there by Brett Pesce. Brassard looking for an open man. Finds Dan Boyle. A pass deflected away. Kept in by Yandel. Swept around by Brassard to Zuccarello. Back to Brassard. He's picked up there by Nordstrom. Brassard to Yandel. Battle behind the net.
Yeah, that's Lyles and Zuccarello.
They kept going.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing battle for about the last 40 seconds.
Penalties coming up with 3:49 to go in the third period. The Rangers leading 4-3. Game day and every day. Experience the official Rangers app to get more on game day and connect to breaking news, live game stats, enhanced calendar, and a whole lot more. It's a great app. You'll enjoy it.
No penalties. We can't show you the entire shift because it was about 40 seconds, but there's the two of them. And this is just the end of it. Cross-check there, slash there, cross-check. Zuccarello with the stick, knocks him down, and then gives him a little shot from behind, and then that's when the whistle blew, and everybody congregates to the net. And, of course, Zuccarello's teammates don't want him getting in a fight.
That was quite a shift. Zuccarello for tripping, Lyles for cross-checking at 16-11. The team skating 4 aside. 3:40 to go in the third period. Rangers leading 4-3. Rangers led 2-0 into the first period. That lead was cut to 2-1. Rangers upped it to 4-1 in the second. Hurricanes cut it to 4-2 end of the second and scored 1 goal here in the third to cut it to 4-3. Victor Rask, checked there by Girardi, fault. Puck taken in by Hainsey, who fires, save made by Lundqvist. He covers up. 3:08 to go. Here we go, Rangers down limited individual game tickets are available for Sunday, December 6th against the Ottawa Senators. For great seats, be sure to visit NewYorkRangers.com. That'll be a good game. Ottawa's got some good talent, including the Norris Trophy winner, Erik Karlsson. Jeff Skinner and Jarrett Stoll getting set. Rangers looking for the bench to see how the coach wants the alignment. Stoll and Foster on. Puck in front. Lindholm had it knocked away. Good poke check by Mark Stahl. That pops in the air, goes over the glass and out of play. Time to answer the Cadillac trivia question, Joe. There it is.
Okay.
Was the only player to have a 40-goal season for both the Rangers and Whalers Hurricanes franchise.
You know, I was thinking Mike Rogers, but I'm going Pat Verbeek. No?
Pepe LaRouche.
Yeah?
Oh, no, you win. I thought it was Pierre LaRouche.
I should have had my camera. I mean, that facial expression.
I got to check this out.
I've had two of those facial expressions in the last week and a half, and I didn't get a good shot of that from my photo library.
I need another appeal to the Supreme Court. Dan Boyle, Stahl trying to move it. And that's cleared out. There by Hanifin. Skinner. Good play by Girardi. Bumps with Skinner. Mark Stahl moves in to help out. And Jesper Fast, they were working ahead to Dominic Ward. He's skating for a side for another 30 seconds. 2:15 to go here in the third. Hainsey across and shoots. The foul wide.
That just missed.
Jordan Stahl after the puck. Girardi able to move it up to Brassard. Pass back to Gandil. He's pressured there. Brassard's got it. Plays it across to Girardi. Kings back at full strength in 3 seconds. With 1:45 to go in the third. Rangers leading 4-3. Teams are at full strength. Zuccarello with a good stop in the neutral zone. There's Hainsey. Minute and a half to go. Long pass up the middle of Rask. Now Versteeg. Offside. 1:28 to go. And after the game, stay with us for complete post-game coverage. John Giannone will work the locker room. You'll hear from the players. Post-game anchored by Al Trautwig with Anson Carter. Analysis from Joe Micheletti and Dave Maloney here. And we'll hear from head coach Alain Vigneault as well, all coming up on Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame immediately following the game. Timeout called. Keys to the game are brought to you by GMC. See the pros nearest you to test drive one of their award-winning trucks, crossovers, or SUVs today. GMC, we are professional grade. Rangers 2 power play goals. Excellent job penalty killing. Chris Kreider broke through with his first goal in 8 games. First point in the last 7. Derek Brassard with a goal and an assist. And the Rangers holding on here 4-3 late.
Yeah, they've been outshot 36-22 in this game. And despite the 3 goals allowed by Henrik Lundqvist, he's made a lot of saves. And Cam Ward, who has made a few beauties here in the third period to keep his team in it, now on the Hurricanes bench as they put a 6th attacker on the ice.
You're watching the Foxwoods Final 5. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Visit foxwoods.com now. Lindholm poked it ahead. Girardi lifts it out. Falk has the puck. Pressure from Dominic Moore. Moore, Stoll, and Fost on for the Rangers. Fost got a piece of it. It goes out of play into the crowd. 1:12 to go.
That's another good job by the Rangers. Remember, we talked about the #1 faceoff team in the league is Carolina. And the Rangers throughout this game have done a pretty good job at just trying to get a tie on those faceoffs and then getting people in there to help out. They did it that time. They were able to put the puck in the Carolina zone and took some precious seconds off the clock.
Rangers have played much of this game without Kevin Klein, who was injured in the first period.
Another important faceoff win for the Rangers.
Victor Rask with the puck. And 1 minute to go in regulation time. Rangers leading 4-3 off the end boards. McDonough got a piece of it. Girardi moves it around the boards, past Eric Staal. Recovered by the Hurricanes. Rask has it. Now Christopher Steen. Down low, Eric Staal. Out to Falk. Now to Rask. Ahead for Steen. Looking, shooting wide. Around the boards and out. Oh, when you miss the net from a sharp angle, it goes around the boards and out of the zone. Tipped ahead by Lindholm, but blocked by Mark Staal. Versteeg brings it in, offside Carolina. 22.6 to go. And the Rangers leading 4-3. Trying to break the 3-game losing streak. Henrik Lundqvist has made 33 saves in the game.
And here's the Rangers' fourth line right back on the ice. They took the shift previous to this. And here they come right out. Their two best faceoff men, or two of the best. Brassard's had an excellent year in that category as well, up around the 55% mark.
The referee called over the official scorers table. Discussion there. I don't know if it has something to do with the clock. They put some time back on it. 24.5 on the clock now. Moore, Stoll, and Fost with Mark Staal and Dan Girardi.
Nash taking the faceoff for Carolina has been their best in this game.
Nash against Jarrett Stoll. Carolina has it. Justin Falk stopped at the line. Lifted out by Girardi. Played by Hanifin. Has trouble with the puck. Dominic Moore on him. Now Justin Falk with 10 seconds to go. Shot by Nash. Blocked in front by Girardi. Mark Staal there. Girardi out of the corner. Jordan Staal. It's cleared away. Rangers win it. Whoa. It wasn't easy, but the Rangers, with some strong defensive play down the end, strong goaltending from Henrik Lundqvist. They've now won 11 in a row on home ice over Carolina, 18 of their last 19 over the Hurricanes, and the Rangers break their overall 3-game losing streak and win it 4-3.
Well, they found a way to win is what they did. They had a good start to this game, scored the power play goals early. The special teams obviously turned out to be a big part of this game, and even though the Rangers gave up 3, Lundqvist had to make some key saves for his team down the stretch.
Rangers now 17-6-2, 36 points as they come up with their second win of the season over Carolina. The Hurricanes they're tough. They really worked hard.
Well, they're a young team that you look at the goaltending. Cam Ward's been around for a long time, but he let in a couple softies tonight. Made a couple of mistakes that allowed the Rangers to score. And those turn out to be the difference in the game.
Our 3 stars of the game brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at MBUSA.com.
Power play goal number 36.
Third star from the Rangers, Matt Zuccarello. He got the Rangers going with a power play goal early in the first period. 5 seconds into the power play.
Elias Lindholm of Carolina is the second star. He was good.
And the number 1 star is Derek Brassard. He had a goal and an assist. And he had some great chances in this game. But the Rangers need him as their number 1 center now. With Derek Stepan out, they need Derek Brassard to be big every night. And he came up with a strong game tonight. A lot more coming your way here at Madison Square Garden. The losing streak is over. Henrik Lundqvist wins his 13th of the season. 4-3 is the final.